Hi, my friends. This is Lada from astrolada.com, and today I'm here with Babylonian and ancient classical astrologer Krasi, who uses sidereal astrology, the actual constellations, and she's going to lead us through the month of August with the coming eclipse and other interesting astrology positions. Hi, Krasi.
Hi, hello everyone. Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure, a real pleasure. We will talk about about August the way we usually do. We will follow the path of the moon, because you know that on her path, the moon. I am saying her because, the moon is meeting planets, stars, and is creating events for us. So we usually follow, as the ancients did, the path of the moon. So I'll bring you back just very briefly to the start of the lunar month, because unfortunately the lunar month started with the eclipse, and this was the solar eclipse. It was not visible all over the world. This is a good thing, but the moon anyway started with eclipse. And as you can see, the results, the temperatures are different, not typical in every part of the world, the markets, and just nothing is as very usual, actually.
Mm-hmm.
People experience maybe you also notice this, the energies in a different way. I see this in the social media, just everything goes a bit different than usual. So why is this? First, the month didn't the good thing is that, this is temporary. Of course, one cycle is ending up and then another cycle is starting. But what is important here, the lunar month started when the previous lunar month didn't complete the number 30, didn't complete 30 days. So here the moon likes the number 30. This is the sacred cipher, the sacred number of the moon. And when the moon cannot complete the number 30, the next month is not as harmonious as we would expect. So this is one.
Yes, because it's very rare when the moon can complete 30 days. So obviously something unusual tends to happen and kind of out of the thing.
Yes, and we have Mars retrograde. You all felt this. You see the fires in Greece. You see what is happening in in Canada now, in Toronto. So this is Mars in Capricorn conjoined with Ketu. So you all experience this. So this is just the start of the month. I'm giving you a very brief overview. And then, of course, this was the 14th of July when the first lunar crescent appeared in Cancer, and it was afflicted. So this is the beginning of the cycle. It's showing how the complete cycle will look like from the first lunar crescent on the 14th of July until 14th of August. So, and then I will just for a second go now to the 30th 1st of July in order to start describing the days to come. And then, of course, you all expect, and you spoke so much in your media, in your channel about the eclipse. Maybe we should not give any more attention to this, because you said so much last time we spoke. Important is people not to look at the eclipse. And not to do much, not to travel if possible, not to make new initiatives, not to start new beginnings, to pray, to do the ordinary things without being afraid, but just not to look at the eclipse.
Yeah, we're doing exactly on the eclipse, basically on Friday. We're doing a prayer circle and a ritual live. So whoever wants to join.
Very good. If you feel intuitively that this is helpful, certainly will be good.
That would be the best place to be, in a prayer group and a meditative group, setting intentions.
Oh, wonderful! I will follow this. I didn't know you're doing this. It's a good idea. And then already after the eclipse, 27, 28, 3 days after the eclipse, of course, is good also to be careful. And then we go straight to the 31st of July, and the first day. Oh, excuse me, my program. I'll go back to the 1st of July, 1st of August, excuse me. So I'm looking at the 1st of August, and the moon on the 1st of August. This was just an overview to tell you what to what is the general overview of the month, and why you see these things happening in the world which are not very harmonious. So on the 1st of August, the month is starting with the moon in Pisces. This is great. The moon is afflicted, but okay, this is really good continuation of your meditative practices, for example, because Pisces is a very spiritual place on the zodiac, so it's good to continue, to do meditations, to do prayers. Not good for new beginnings, of course. After the eclipse, still not recommended. Not good for surgical interventions, also not during the eclipse, also sometime after, at least until we complete the lunar cycle. It's really good to be careful and not to take any risks in any area of life. This is the first. We continue as usual, following the path of the moon and describing. 2nd of August, the moon is also in Pisces, so the same is valid. And here it's important to say what Mars is doing. And we forgot to mention that Jupiter is already blessing us, being not retrograde but direct, so this is a good thing. In sidereal, Libra is Jupiter, and people which have Libra ascendant, midheaven, Sun Libra, Moon Libra would be feeling this tremendously.
That's tropical Scorpio. I'm just translating.
Tropical Scorpio. Okay, then people which have also tropical Scorpio would probably are feeling already the positive energies of Jupiter in different ways, like gifts, or I'm not sure. And then it's good to mention just a few words about Mars. On the 2nd of August, Mars is very powerful, being in opposition to the Sun, but also, it's exalted and so on, but it's also in the fast called the chronicle rise, which makes him very young, very powerful. And I'm not sure whether this is positive. Powerful does not always mean positive,
That's when it's Mars, malefic.
When it's Mars, maybe if we are very organized, if we are not aggressive, if we are not angry, if we do what Mars is actually, the opposite actually of his negative characteristics, maybe we will be able to save ourselves from his energies, from the negative energies of Mars.
If we're disciplined like a soldier, let's say.
Exactly. He's the soldier of the zodiac, so yes. He's very powerful. And this is happening 2nd, 3rd. It will be about a week in August. And these are days that we need to be cautious. In everything we do, in driving, taking risks, just name it. Just be cautious in any area of life. Also, no surgical interventions on this day. The moon on the 4th and the 5th, 3rd and the 4th will be in Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars. Again, let's be very careful. We will still be feeling the energies of the eclipse. So yes, careful, no surgical interventions. These are days of attention, so to say. When we travel, to be very careful.
I'm traveling. They're on the other end of the world.
Be careful, because the moon is receiving square from Mars.
Mars is the 31st, but I'll be traveling throughout.
Oh, yeah. And this is maybe a bit better, but still pray before you.
No, always.
Yes, you know this. I'm just saying so that people hear that the praise do miracles. This is what I.
That's the only thing that can change things. Yeah.
Exactly. 5th, the moon is entering. 5th and 6th, the moon will be in Taurus. And of course, this is a wonderful place for the moon. The moon is exalted. But again, I'm saying careful, no surgical interventions, no new initiatives, no new beginnings, just careful. Still, until the moon cycle is not finished, we need to be careful because of the eclipse, because of the powerful Mars and all the other factors. Of course, if you're running some business, the moon is in Aldebaran, the first royal star of wealth and luck. So you might be having good days with your business. Earning money in your shop or in your online shop or anything you do, but don't do risky things and new initiatives.
Mhm.
This is on the 7th also. The moon is still in Taurus. Could be good for the business. Again, I'm saying no surgical interventions. 8th of August, 9th of August. The moon, it will be in Gemini to receive the opposition of Saturn. Uh, Again, Gemini, of course, we relate to communication, to trade, because these are the great twins ruled by Mercury. Um, Mercury is retrograde and invisible, and Saturn is making aspect. So, yes, we may benefit for doing some publishing of articles, but this will all be um, with some efforts and won't be as harmonious as we probably would like to be.
Mhm.
Again, because of the afflicted Gemini and because Mercury is not really very happy in Cancer and retrograde and invisible, so many factors which are not perfect on the sky. And in the meantime, Mars is still in a chronicle rise, still very powerful and still retrograde. And here on the 10th of August, 11th of August, the moon will be invisible. These days, usually we mention the moon is the lunar god Nana or Sin in Sumer, in ancient Sumer, is descending into the underworld to deal with the destinies of the dead. So you can imagine what the energies of the moon will be. They're not bad. They're just not energies appropriate for any positive, new beginnings, absolutely not good for medical interventions. Uh, Travel, be careful. I remember one time when there were so many accidents on the street, and I noticed that the moon is invisible, so we really need to be careful. And the first lunar crescent is appearing on the 20th of August in Leo. I hope this will be already a good beginning or a bit of relief from the eclipse. Of course, eclipses last longer than the lunar cycle, but still, this is already the first relief that we will be having after the eclipse. This is a time when if you need to do your things, if you need to do something new, you may do already. Also because the moon will be also good for astrologers, for esoteric people, because in Leo we have important stars which are related to astrology, to occultism, esoteric knowledge. 13th, the moon will be having no course. So this is not bad. Just the moon is not very productive when it's void of course. It means like the moon is stopped. Just imagine it this way. It's not really very productive. So yes, you may do your routine business. This is wonderful. You may plant leafy vegetables because the moon is already waxing. The moon will be, yes, you may do uh, just the routine things, no good for surgical interventions, again, because the waxing moon is not appropriate for this. But to do routine business is great. And then on the 14th of August, the moon will be conjoined with Venus in Virgo. Well, this is great. Very nice to do something new, to do, but carefully because Saturn is making aspect. So it might cost you additional efforts. But since we were frozen for almost a month before, we need to make use even of the small openings, we will have. So the moon in Virgo with Venus would be very good for spiritual practices, for communication, for publishing your articles, for writing your books, for teaching others, for anything related to Mercury, mental work.
It's
Once
Mercury, not Venus.
the moon is conjoined with Venus in Virgo.
Okay.
So this is quite positive in terms of a business which has to do with communication. But once again, the ruler of Virgo, Mercury, is retrograde and invisible. So it might cost us some additional effort, but still, this is a good aspect of the moon and Venus together. And this is happening 14th and also 15th. On the 15th, it's a great thing because the moon will be meeting Spica, or Spica, maybe you pronounce it. It's a star, wonderful star. And if you see in India, for example, people wear on their small finger usually a ring with a green stone, which would be emerald or other stone of Spica. And this is a wonderful star for wealth, and for fortune. Also very spiritual star, because this star has the nature of Mercury and Venus. I will certainly be making use of this star and other aspects on the star, on the sky, also of Mercury, which is preparing himself to rise heliacally as a morning star. Yes. So I will be using this time, um, for the next lunar period, for making a talisman for wealth, because Spica is a great star which helps in business and communication.
You have like only like 30-40 minutes opening to do those talismans. How many can you make within 30-40 minutes?
Yes, I organize my, not really many, but I organize really my work in such way to be able to to fit into this. Yes, yes. Otherwise, it's impossible. If you really don't organize yourself, you will miss the opening, the window.
So, guys, if you want to have a talisman for wealth, Krasi will be using that auspicious selection for wealth. You can contact her from the details below to give you order, because she can't make too many, and those openings are rare always.
Always rare, and I am checking every possible moment, for a good election, because Spica is powerful in terms of wealth for talismans. And yes, and when you combine it with direct Jupiter and many other factors on the sky, you can really benefit. Okay, so this is 15th, when the moon will be in Spica. And then 16th, it's a nice thing because the moon is entering Libra to make conjunction with Jupiter. And here the moon will pass through very nice stars, fixed stars of the artistic people, designers, people which present things, with people which are engaged to do beautiful things, anything related to beauty, to Libra, to Venus. Gamma is one of the stars which the moon will meet on the 17th of August. So 16th, 17th, conjunct Jupiter. Wonderful time exactly for this, for people, for designers, people which would create beauty, people which appreciate beauty. So artists of all kinds.
Yeah.
Yes. So this will be really beneficial time for doing artistic job. Also, you may do new things. Careful, because Mars is aspecting, but still, with caution, we may do some new things. No surgical interventions, absolutely no. The waxing moon is too powerful for this. So this will be also on the 17th. The moon is already passing Jupiter, but is still in Libra. 18th, the moon is 18th and 19th of August. The moon is in Scorpio, in a fall. Spiritual time for those that are engaged, that are do natural healing, people which do Reiki, for example, people which understand from herbs, can really benefit from this period, which would be very productive for them. Also for new things, but again, moon in Scorpio is her place of where she's detriment, so you can benefit, but with, again, not doing new things. Do your routine work and enjoy the results, because these are degrees where Scorpio is, and Scorpio is all the poisons. Some of the natural healers and the chirurgs, for example, some of the doctors have powerful Scorpio on their natal charts. And then 20th, 21st, not very good time. The moon is entering the place where Saturn is, and this is Sagittarius. Pluto is also there. So 21st, 22nd, I would say this is time where we should not take any risk. Just be careful. 23rd, the moon is already entering Capricorn. The same story. There you are having Ketu, Mars, and you know what this is creating. We are all witnessing all over the world what is happening due to the angry Mars right now. And Mars is still retrograde on the 23rd and the 24th of August with Ketu. He's preparing for his stationary phase. So I would say this is a time to be cautious. Travel carefully. Surgical things, medical things, better not. New initiatives, new beginnings, better not. Just stay out of risk. Conflicts, stay away. You know,
Like August, just go on a holiday and stay on the beach, guys.
stay on the beach, read, meditate, whatever. Just be careful because yes. I forgot to say that at that time Venus will be in Virgo. In Virgo, we have an aspect with Saturn. Venus is not very much, very romantic. So she might not be very, very beneficial for our love lives. She won't bring conflicts, I hope. But you see, Venus in Virgo, I don't see any bad thing, but it's not really very, very beneficial if we expect suddenly changes in our personal lives. This is what I wanted to say. And Venus will be in Virgo until, I think, few more days. So 23rd was this, 24th, still moon in Capricorn. 25th, the moon is void, of course. It's a bit away from Mars, so this is not such a dangerous time. Absolutely not. But it's separating from aspect with Mars, so let's be careful. And it's void, of course, so it's not productive, as we said. 26th, the moon is already, it's a full moon. The moon is having opposition with the sun. This is different for every person. Some people love it. I love the full moons. Some people not. These are energies which everyone experiences in a different way. So I would say, watch how you experience the full moon, right? How do you experience the full moon, Wada?
I want a party.
So good, then good. Yes, I feel I like it also. Yeah. So watch how you experience the past full moons. I'm not talking about eclipses, but just the previous full moons to understand how, in general, the full moons work on you. But for sure, these are powerful energies, powerful in any sense. Powerful.
Manifest stuff around the full moon, like things tend to kind of give results and fruition. It's kind of more fertile time.
Absolutely.
For me, and more quiet time always.
Yes. Maybe it depends, of course, on what is the moon phase in your horoscope. Because I am born on a full moon and I love the full moon, but it depends how people, with what energies they used to. See, if you're used to the full moon, wonderful. If you're not, maybe these energies are too powerful. But in any case,
it gets me excited, and I like that. I like the excitement, but some people prefer to feel calmer, and and if you're overly excitable, you can get lunatic. That's what they call it.
Exactly. That is what I am saying. It's different for everyone, but for sure, when the moon is full, not good for starting new business. Absolutely, medical things, not good. Gardening, not good. Just the full moon is very powerful in terms of spirituality, and especially when this full moon will be in Aquarius. And we have powerful fixed stars there. We have Fomalhaut, the royal star of the spiritual guru, of the spiritual priest. So these are very spiritual degrees, great. So if you're not sure what the full moon will bring you, do spiritual things, practices, anything that your intuition will lead to you to. And this is happening 26th, 27th, and on the 28th, the moon is entering Pisces 28, 29. Very nice. Again, very spiritual. Very ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is now direct. So this is a nice place. Afflicted is the moon. This is important to say. So this is very powerful place again in terms of spirituality. You might feel these some lofty ideals, ideas, and this is the place of Pisces and the moon. But still, even though the moon is warning, careful with medical interventions, with all medical things, because the moon is afflicted, and because this is the main reason.
Is there any good day for medical intervention?
Usually the waning moon, usually, I mean, of course you need to watch the detail, is the moon that you're seeking for medical interventions. But now Saturn retrograde, Mars powerful, the good day will be Aries. Not this on the 30th of August, the moon in Aries, not because the ruler of Aries is not well, maybe this would be in the beginning of September, 2nd, 3rd of September, when the moon is in Taurus, because it will be unafflicted. It's a warning, so this could be a time, but it's very difficult. You see, the most difficult election personally for me is to find good election for health issues, for medical interventions, because you always need to put the person to be on the safe side. That's why I'm not taking risks. If I see even a small negative effect, to advise.
What would be medical intervention? That's not just surgeries, is it? That's like maybe starting some new kind of remedy or something like that.
Well, then this is easier, of course. Interventions would be something that really the doctors intervene in a way, they. But what you're saying, yes, then it's not risky to take even day which is not perfect.
Okay, so but when it's about big operations or surgeries or something like that, that's what you mean.
Okay. Yes. So this is how we complete the month. Well, it was not that bad as the month with the eclipses. So
there is an eclipse as well on the 11th. The new moon is an eclipse as well. It's very partial. It's seen only from some parts of the world. But it's
11th of August.
Yeah. It is also an eclipse. It's considered very partial, small eclipse.
From which part of the world this will be visible?
Australia, something like that.
Notice Australia now is really hurt by these eclipses. Look, Australia, the eclipse on the 13th of July was visible mainly from Australia.
It was,
other parts of the world almost didn't see it. The one that is coming also will be visible very well from Australia and Europe, a little bit from America, luckily for you there. And if you say that the next one, which I didn't follow up, will be the eclipse will be visible from.
No, the eclipse is visible on the North Pole. Sorry.
Then America. Ne.
Oh. I'm trying to see now. I'm looking at.
Maybe it's good to say indeed which countries will see the shadow of the eclipse.
Yes, I'm trying to see which it is, but it shows, it shows. Yes, it's exactly over the North Pole, and Asia, somewhere around China sees it as well, and Greenland, very northern parts of America, Alaska, and even Alaska doesn't see it, but yeah.
Now, this time, these eclipses are not really hurting America so much, but Europe.
From more Canada feels it. Canada feels that eclipse. The solar eclipse sees it. Canada and Asia, China, those areas, the north areas of Asia.
Yeah, so people should not watch also this eclipse. Absolutely not. Yes, the one that is now the heavy one, the total, the longest for the century, will be afflicting Europe quite much, and especially the Balkans. And you see already what is happening in Greece, unfortunately, with the fires, the water flow. It's in Bulgaria. It's unbelievable. Uh,
Wow.
so Mars is quite unpredictable.
Wow. And India will be affected, and Asia. It's also, I think, big parts there, like Thailand or something like that. No, not Thailand. Before that, India, Pakistan, Iran, they're seeing the eclipse as well, I think.
See how interesting for Mars, because Mars is in Capricorn, and in the ancient times this was the goldfish. And they would draw it exactly like the goat head and the fish tail, and that is why Capricorn is not always so earthy. The nature is not so earthy. It's also water,
What?
related to water because of the tail of the fish. So you see uh, how this is afflicting different parts of the world. Somewhere you're having the fires, and on the other part you're having these terrible water floods, like here in Bulgaria. People are suffering; their houses are in water completely.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yes, yes. So
Wow. Well, Krasi, thank you so much for walking us through
thank you.
August. I really hope from September onwards, good news are starting to come. This summer is intense, guys. We warned you that it's going to be intense. It's full of developments as well, but we just have to be more careful. And hopefully, we can turn everything negative into positive as well with wisdom and with consciousness and presence. So, thank you so much, Krasi. If you want to
Thank you.
contact
It was a
Krasi
pleasure.
for a reading, I'm putting the links underneath. And you can contact her for talismans for protection. Here is mine from Krasi. They're beautiful. Uh, and my Venus talisman. Thank you, Krasi. And I will see you next month again for September.
Yes. See you
Bye.
next month. Thank you.